back. What's going on? Okay, this is the last time I'm going to record this. I honestly think I've recorded this probably about 10 times. I took a break from podcasts for a while, but here you go. Here's a new one. I'll touch on that in another video. I'll make a video about why I took a break on making videos. Here's a podcast. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you do, because it was actually good fun to make, and I plan to do a lot more of these in the near future. This is kind of why I made Coffee Talk, so it's kind of cool to see it coming to fruition. Hopefully you like the video. All the timestamps for interesting parts will be in the description to save you watching the whole thing. And yeah, just spat. So good. Okay, right. Enjoy the video, my guys. Welcome back to Coffee Talk, episode number 6. I'm thinking 6. 6, 5,
six.
one of them.
You say 6. We'll say 6.
That's the one. 6
one.
sounds good. So I'm here with ConorsCreations. So what's up, my man? So
thanks.
This is the first guest I've ever had on the podcast, so it's pretty sick. So basically I'm on the way to being Joe Rogan. That's what we want to see.
There we go. Yeah.
Upward progression. But yeah.
Yeah, so good luck.
That's it, facts. So obviously I've met you once in person. I exchanged a lens with you. I paid you money, I took a lens, and now I'm filming with this lens on my camera. So obviously you're
works great.
That's it, you're a creative media person, creative artist, all this sort of
jazz
thing.
What we say, artist, I guess you could say.
Artist is
I
the
don't
best
even know
thing
the word
to
anymore.
say. Yeah, facts.
Artist
is
do
the
everything.
best. That's it.
Yeah.
Freedom. You're your own boss. But yeah, I think I kind of started texting back and forth with you on Instagram probably like maybe 6-7 months ago.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was the first. I think you saw. No, I used to work in Grand Social. That's where
I remember.
And
yeah.
literally, like, there was one particular night. Like, I worked there on Saturdays with the whole fucking. It was like called Bladders only or whatever the fuck it was. This is when we could actually go outside and we could actually do
when
shit.
When times was normal.
When time were fucking normal, yeah. And what was it? I was working there, and then someone asked me to do a Monday, and I was like, we don't ever do Monday nights. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And there was a whole new kind of like crowd running it, so it wasn't the people that I was used to. And I was like, cool, well, I'll go there. And I remember going down, and it was like so empty, man. It was like ghost town. There was like
really
no one there. Like it was kind of embarrassing because I was like sitting there with a camera, and I was walking around, and I was like, man, like I think I've seen the same people every time I walk in and out. And like it was so awkward because like your man that was running it was like stressed to bits, and he just realized how much money he lost. Like none of it, man. Like everything he put into that, he probably got like 2% back, and it was so awkward. And then I remember going up, and I was like, there was like I think there was 4 DJs, and there was like this third guy that was there, and there was no crowd. I felt so bad for them, but they kept doing it because like you might as well just do it when you're there.
If
like,
you're there, you're gonna. It's the same as you. Like you're there, you're gonna do your job.
You're gonna do your job, but like it's gonna be awful. Like, do you know what I mean? Even for me, I was fucking like I couldn't take photos because I was like, all I can do is take photos of people with the flash and shit like that, with like what they want. But then other than that, I couldn't take a picture.
So
of
you can't convey a crowd, and then it looks like it was a
I think I got one photo where I was like underneath the table, and like you could just see like 3 people, but like there's lots of fog or whatever, like smoke machine, so it kind of looked like it was, you know.
Stopping.
Other than that, it was shite like. And then this your man, what's his name? Jack, yeah, he was there, and I was like, oh, this is a sick DJ, but no one was there, so I was just taking photos of all the DJs and shit like that. And then I think he posted one of the photos that I took, and then I don't know what happened. I think he shared a picture of you or something that you were doing the one with the newspaper. And I was like, holy shit, man, what the fuck? Like, that's insane. And and then from there, it's just like Instagram's really weird like that. Like I don't even know. Like I've seen you once, and we've ended up just like communicating all the time over this fucking app. Like it's weird, like because it's like, as in, like before all this like that, like I didn't think that Monday night would do. Like I didn't think that. Oh, like I'm just gonna go there and it's gonna be shit, like that kind of thing. And then this. Now I'm talking to you on a podcast from just fucking
That's
Instagram.
True.
It's really weird, you know what I mean? And it's like fucking even like looking at our growth to get like fucking when I was at that stage I was on doing nightclubs. Whatever. You were doing all these fucking like face shit where you just like got the face rid of people and all that kind of shit. Do you know what I mean? It was sick.
That was where I was on that face mask, but I still have it. I need to do more photos with that.
Yeah, I need to do more. That's like the thing, do you know what I mean?
You put a mask on a person and the photo and it booms on Instagram.
Oh man, that's why now like it's so handy with fucking everyone wearing masks because
that's it.
Literally, it's all the eyes. Like if you notice, I was doing photos there in barbers, right?
Yeah.
And like everyone was wearing masks, so I was like, this is actually kind of easy. But beforehand, I think one of them took their masks off, and I was taking photos of them, like doing their job, like, and I was like, man, like it's so hard. Like they're making these weird faces without knowing. And like having the mask is so much easier. Like the amount of photos you can take, you're like, oh,
that's
man.
so true.
So it's actually kind of a weird.
It's a weird
thing,
pros and cons, but even what you said about social media there is so true. That's actually a really good way to look on it, like how it kind of keeps that communication. Like I never would have met you otherwise.
That's
ever,
what I'm saying.
Probably. Like it's such a small world but a big world at the same time.
Yeah, it's strange. Like
social media is like, I have a love-hate relationship with it. I think it's a great tool, but at the same time it can destroy. I think
it's kind of ruining a lot of things. I mean,
absolutely. I think Instagram especially. Like I'm bad for getting caught up in Instagram, and I know I should. I'm like, I fully know I shouldn't, and I'm like,
but it happens, and you're like, I think it's every kind of like everyone that's like doing artist or shit or like songwriting or whatever the fuck. It's like a weird thing. Like you kind of feel like once you make something, no matter how happy you are with it, you kind of have to post it. And like it's not even like you're posting it to be like, look at this. You're kind of posting it because it's like a cycle. Like I feel like nowadays, if I look at someone's page and I haven't posted in 6 months, yet they're doing really good stuff behind the scenes, you almost think they're not doing anything, and you almost think, oh, they're shit, like, or they're not doing well, like, and it's horrible. Like I don't want to think like that, but it just kind of happens, like, and that's why when I look at my page and I'm like, I haven't posted in a week, like, everyone probably thinks that I've quit or something like that. When it's like
you're dead,
and that's what I hate about it, because it's like the whole point of making all the stuff like that is putting time into it, especially with like more filmmaking and stuff like that, because like the more time you put into making something is gonna show well. It's just, I think we're all just getting so impatient with shit like that. Like if I take a photo, I'm almost itching to post it, because I'm like, I can't wait to post it and get that feedback and like put it out there. But it's like,
and that's what it is. It's like a feedback loop. It's like
you just want
go, and it's like, as much as I don't want to, and I try to like not pride myself, but I try to be kind of firm and be like, I don't care about other people's opinions. I think that's an unrealistic goal. I think everyone cares about other people's opinions.
Cares,
but I think
it's like you want to not.
That's it, and how much you let those opinions affect you. Like you can kind of be like fully swayed and be like, shit, I don't want to post this in case that person sees it, or you can just be like, I'm gonna post it. What happens doesn't matter. Like I want to do this, and I think it's prioritizing yourself rather than disregarding everyone else. It's like putting yourself first.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like now, when I post, I almost I literally turn off my Wi-Fi and shit, and just put my phone down, and then do something, because I know if you post something and like you're so obsessed with the image or the video, whatever the fuck it is, you're like, man, and you're kind of waiting. It's annoying. Like you're waiting for likes and shit like that, and like I'm not one to be like that, but it's like a weird thing now. It's like it's a habit and it's a cycle, and it's like, well, I'm posting this person is gonna have to see this. Like, look what I've done. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and like it's all kind of like a competition. Like, but it's not at the same time. It's a stupid competition. It's like, oh, well, this person posted like 3 times with different things this week. He's doing way better than me posting one picture that I like. And it's like, I don't know, it's taken away from a lot of the like the actual kind of creating and the art. Like it's like you're kind of just creating it to post out there. And now what I'm trying to do now is like, if when I make something, if I can just watch it and be like, that was sick, then I'm not gonna worry about posting it, which is hard. Like you always want to like be like, look what I've done and all this kind of stuff like that. It's like a habit, and but like the more you can just look at your work and be like, that's actually good, I like that, and like just sit on it and then post it maybe a while. Like I think it's about this whole like, the minute it's done, has to post, like has to be up, has to do this, and it's like you're almost kind of like in a cycle now where it's like make, post. Like it's like the posting has actually become part of the art. If you get
it's part of the process. It's like
part of the process now.
That's like the final. Like I always talk.
That's the final piece.
Yeah, when I'm explaining editing photos, it's like if you get a raw image, it's like you get a raw unbaked cake and you put it in the oven, and then the editing is like baking the cake, and then you take it out,
icing it, all
but that's it. But now it's like delivering that cake to someone is that extra part. That's like
extra part.
Ages ago that wasn't a thing, but I think as well, like I subconsciously for me, of course, definitely I feel like I want my stuff to do well, and I want it to reach an audience, because I do want this to be like a source of income, or like a source where I can rely on this to work. So it's like naturally then I end up using that as a gauge of success. But I think social media can definitely benefit in ways, but that as you're saying, that loop is so I think toxic is a good word for it, because as you said, like about putting your phone down, turn your Wi-Fi off, I've started doing that when I post. Like I'll post say about 6 or 7, and I'll just not touch Instagram again. I'll literally put my phone down, do anything else, and it's because I know if I go on and I'll be refreshing it, and I don't like doing this, but I find myself doing it. And I'm like, It's because you're bored, and especially nowadays. Like, maybe
a
year ago you could have posted that and been like, okay, I'm going out with mates, but it's like now you
exactly.
can't.
You're actually doing something.
But you have to stay there now, and it's like that's the other side of lockdown, that it's like can be quite suppressive creative wise, I think, and so can social media. It's I think everything, balance is like the fundamental basis of everything, and I think
100%.
social media with balance, it can be a great tool, but it's like you see people like who's a good example. There's a guy I don't know, have you ever heard of Tom Nosky? I think that's how you say his name.
Tom Nosky. It rings a bell.
I'd say he's an Australian photographer, but he makes him. I love his photography. Like, it's real kind of dreamy, modern, simplistic style. But he posts like maybe once a week, but then in the background you just know he's doing so much work, because every single shot is so much further progressed. That's it. But it's like not. I think it's important to let your work speak, and I think you're a great example of that. Like, some of the videos you put together have been immense. Like, I love your gym edits. Like, a lot of those things, I think we were talking about this the last time when I was with you. I was like saying how I've taken a lot of like little things that you do, and I'm like trying to incorporate them into my own work. Like, and I think that's another great thing about social media. It's like, I see this person do that, I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. I'm like, how could I incorporate it? And like,
and that's the biggest thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
That's what you should be like. That's the way I think it should work. Cause like, I used to be like, when I started, like, and I think everyone had this. Like, I was so egotistical when I started. And I was so like insecure about my work, and like kind of like, I don't want people to see this because I don't want people to steal my ideas. All this bullshit like that, and like I think that's, you can kind of just go through that. And I was kind of like, okay, what the fuck? Like, I'm never gonna get to a point that I want to get if I don't just start sharing the work, and just the more you kind of share work, it's good, like, because people will take inspiration from that. And I see other people's work, and I'm like, holy shit, I need to do that. That's a sick idea. Or like, this guy's doing this shit. Like, holy fuck. I just think that like, if you have a positive look on it, it can be class. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I see your work and I'm like, man, what the fuck? That's insane. Like, I need to try that in my shit. Or like, because you're all doing all this fucking beach shit. I'm like, I want to go near a beach now, because and it's like small shit like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you look at that negatively, which I used to do, it really just brings you down so much, and like, it just corrupts it. Because I used to like fucking look at shit and be like, oh man, well, they're doing that. What's the fucking point of me getting my camera and me doing it? Like, I can't do that
to the same level.
Or I can't do that. And then you kind of realize that like, every single person that has this like camera in their hand, or whatever fuck like that, whatever they are, there's something different every single time. And look, people can like completely copy shit, which happens, and like try to just manipulate a style, but like overall, like, if we're in the same spot, we're gonna get 3 different photos every time.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? And it's just about knowing that. Do you know what I mean? It's about knowing that and being like, look, okay, maybe this guy's video is better than mine, and maybe he put more time into it, but like overall, it's like, seeing that helps you, and you showing your work helps people as well. It's all like a kind of community. It's like, we can hate each other, or we can just be like, you know, look, and like, the community that I'm in right now is sick. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's just kind of like fucking
and that's
helping each other with their
thing.
shit.
As you're saying about community, I really feel like Ireland is lacking in like a form of like a creative community. It's like, you look, there's a guy I just stumbled across the other day. He's based in Dublin. I think his name's Eddie. It's like EEDDAY. He's a musician, but he's also a cinematographer. But his stuff is amazing. But I never heard of him literally until, I'd say, maybe a week ago. I just stumbled across a music video he did, and it was sick. And it's like, there's a lot of people around, but there's not a lot of connections between them. And it's almost like Ireland creators are almost like scraping at the bit. It's like a lot of them, because it's a smaller, like, you don't have.
It's a way smaller, and it's so competitive. Like,
absolutely,
because it's not like. It's like in America, it's like obviously it's so much bigger, and like I feel like they just seem, I don't know, they just seem to like, it, not more advanced, but like I feel like this kind of stuff is not a norm here. Like, it is becoming, whereas like before it would have been just like, you know, you're going to college, you're going to do this, you're going to have this job, but now it's like we're opening up to it more. So now it's like the people that are doing it right now are so competitive, and it's like I feel like the people that are actually made it, like or whatever term you call made it are above. If they're doing things with these people, and it's like they are only like, I feel like a lot of people are like looking down on people coming up because they're kind of scared that their position will be taken.
It's an ego
that kind of, because they're so small. It's an ego thing, and it's like it's because we're such a small like country for one, and like the whole scene is just like everyone's kind of tearing each other down to like get to their spot or something like that. And like that's why I'm just like, it's just bullshit, because it just makes you have an ego, and it makes you insecure, and it makes you not want to share your work, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you just look at it and be like, look, we're all in the same boat, like we're all doing the same shit. We have different styles. Like my style is different than your style. Yeah. Your style is different than this guy's style. Whatever fuck like that.
That's
and it's like that's all we could take, and we can just boost each other up. And like I think that like when I look at a page and I see them kind of like, I don't know, I just see that they're fucking chill dudes or whatever fuck that, and they're sharing other people's shit. It's like, well, I respect that, as opposed to like,
you're helping.
You know, just like you're helping, just the smallest thing, like just sharing their fucking picture.
It makes such a big difference.
It makes such a big difference,
especially on the way Instagram is now. Like something to do with shares and saves. It makes
the saves. Saves are a big thing. I just don't know what that means, but
it's just like, that's a good sign. I think I actually saw there's a guy. I think he's from. I want to say he's from Greystones. I don't know. His name's Conscious. I'd say you probably know.
Oh yeah, Oisin.
Yeah. I'd never met him, but I know all his stuff. Like I was.
Oisin's a cool dude. We were doing documentaries together.
Oh, deadly! Yeah, his stuff is
Donegal.
His stuff
drone
is sick.
Shit.
Yeah,
man,
his drone stuff is
mad drone shit.
Yeah.
But
like,
he's doing well.
That's where I heard about that thing of saves. So I think he's put up a post saying about how saves help, and I didn't realise this, so I like looked it up. But apparently, it's like for every save, it like boosts your engagement and it boosts your reach, because
it's all about engagement now. Do you know what I mean?
It's so weird. You want more people to see your shit, and I think that's good. But even as you said, like simple things is just sharing someone's post makes such a difference.
It can make, and like it's not even us being like, oh, like please share our shit. You know, we want. It's just kind of like
we're not begging people.
Yeah, it's just we swear we're not begging, but it's just kind of like with me, like I say, like the likes of like, I don't know, the small community that I have is like whatever, like 6 people that I would like consistently see their work and consistently like always want to see what it is, and it's just like I could be like, you know, okay, I don't want to see their work because I'm intimidated by it. I don't want to let them see my work because fuck it. Or every time I post, it's like, look at this, haha, I'm better than you. That's the kind of shit that I just like, because I was like that, and I was really like insecure and egotistical when I started off, and then I realised that like that is the worst way to be, and you won't grow. Like you just physically will not grow, and you'll be stuck in a little rut where like you can't show or express or work with other people. And the minute you can kind of just open up and be like, look, I'm not the only fucking photographer in Ireland. There's plenty of talent, plenty of fucking creators, so much. And like the more you open up to that and be like, look, my work is my work, his work is his work, he's doing bits, I'm like, you know what I mean? And like the more you connect, and like I've noticed whenever since I started like meeting up with you or randomers that I just met online or whatever and collabing, you get out your shell for one, which is great, and then two, like the amount of shit you learn just from someone else doing what you're doing, like they're gonna do it so differently. Like I'm doing something and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm doing this, and they're like, oh shit, I'm doing that, and you're like, what the fuck? And then just seeing how people work, you're like, whoa, you learn so much. And like something as small as like changing frame rate or fucking changing anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like it's just like once you learn those little things, and then you just kind of grow and grow and grow, and it's all about kind of just you can see that so much when you learn.
That's such a good way to put it, that you won't, if you're stuck in that sort of ego rut almost, and I definitely wouldn't even say that I'm past that. I'm consciously trying to get past it, but like for sure, be honest,
like everyone has an ego. Like,
absolutely,
and
100%.
It's always there. Like you're always gonna have, like you're always gonna be like, look, like when you're passionate about something, I think you're gonna have the smallest bit of an ego. It's just about channeling it in the right ways. Like, look, if I can't like accept people looking at my work, or if I can't accept other people doing work, then that's just X. I would never. That's just not what I want to do, because that just doesn't make you grow. But like, if you don't have confidence in your work either, like if you can't kind of hype yourself up and that was a great shot, like fair play. And the more, like, I think what's annoying me now with this whole like, well, it's lockdown, like it's not like the easiest for a lot of people, but I see a lot of creators, they're just posting these throwbacks, and they're constantly like sharing their old shit, and I'm kind of like yeah, look, it's a great shot, do you know what I mean? It's a really good shot, but like the more you just keep going backwards and looking at your old work, then you're never kind of gonna progress and change your style. Like right now, like I'm trying to just do random shit, like just create anything, and it's harder because the weather's shit, and I wake up late, I'm a fucking lazy cunt or whatever. But like, and you have like 3 fucking hours to do something, but like it's just like the smallest thing, like get out your comfort zone, just take photos of anything. But like people now are just just do anything, like, and the more you do that every day, the more, like I noticed with editing, like I hated editing at the start. I could never finish an edit because I just scrap it. Like, this is so shit, I can't do it. And literally just takes that one really uncomfortable session where you're sitting there and you're like, I have to finish this or else I'll never will. And you literally just have to proper fucking mind over matter, just be like, right, get it done. And then it could be shit, it's probably gonna be shit. Every first song, every first edit is shit. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
literally now, what, 2 years down the line, like editing to me is like, it's like second nature. Do you know what I mean? It's like because I've done it so much and it's all I put my time into. And that's kind of what it is. Like, you can put all your time into taking the perfect shot and shit lighting, and then from that you just learn so much about that. It's all about what you put your time into. Do you know what I mean? And like with this whole like industry, I don't want to say game because I hate when people say this whole game, whatever. But this whole industry that we're in, it's like there are so many different aspects to it, and I think a lot of us think that we have to know and be ingrained in every single one. Like we have to know how to do sound really well. We have to know how to do this. Whereas like it could be like, you know, it's a good way to learn, but like at the same time it's like
you're stretching your resources too thin.
Just give yourself a break and be like do what you're good at as well, but also lock down the time to fucking, you know, expand and be like, I want to learn more about editing or fucking sound or whatever fuck. Do you know what I mean?
I honestly do think for sure, and I know everybody says this of like doing something, like doing it is the best way to learn, but it is hands down. Like I remember when I started editing, it's the most daunting thing. Like if anyone is wanting to ever start or try, it's like starting off, whether it's starting off editing photos, starting off editing videos, taking photos, taking videos, it's so daunting, but the biggest thing is to just start. Like I went to Glendalough there yesterday, and I went to just kind of like, I had an idea in my head, I wanted to shoot a bit of a video, make a bit of a clip out of it. I went out, crashed my drone, fell into the lake. Worst case scenario, I know.
Happened to me as well.
This man has witnessed it. So I literally saw it flying in, hit the thing, and it dropped. And it's like, I can say if I didn't go out and try that, I would have had a drone. But then on the other side of it, it's like, at least I went out, I experienced that. I know that I'm never going to do that again. And as well, I learned from it. It's like, it could have been worse things. I could have fallen from the sky and hit the
Exactly, you could have been dead.
Yeah, facts. I could have kicked the bucket, but I made it. So, but it's important, I think, to always like try and do stuff. Like I like, there's significant moments where I was editing and I was like, oh shit, I can do this now. It's like something switches in your brain. It's like, oh yeah, that thing. I know how to do that.
It's just like about patience. You know what I mean? And it's like
you're never going to be the best. It's like always, you're always going to be learning. Like that's
you're never going to know
thing about
everything.
Yeah, exactly. And
you have every day is like you're just learning. But like that's what I'm saying with the whole. I think this whole new fucking, I don't know, like era of I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like people in general, like, and this whole like whatever. It's like people just are so impatient and like they can't like they. It's annoying because it is kind of like Instagram. Like you see people doing all the shit like that. I see people directing films, and I'm only starting to write now. Like I'm starting to write short films and stuff like that. But I'm like, I just want to be there. Like that's what my head's saying. Like I want to just film now. I want to just do it. And people are like, when they get camera first, like I want to be as good as this person or this person. Whereas it's like anything, you have to put the time in. And a lot of people just see that now and they give up straight away because like they see Instagram. Which is kind of, I don't think, when you're starting out, I think you should just completely block out kind of like competitors or whatever. Just literally just learn the craft, enjoy the craft. And people forget about, like, it's a fun thing to do. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, I think everyone's getting caught up in this thing where it's like, it's becoming like, you want it to be your full-time job, which is a great fucking thing. And it's great that we can actually do that now. But at the same time, it's like, I think a lot of us forget why we started. Like, I wanted to start because I wanted to make a short film. And like now I'm kind of looking back and like, I actually want to make one now. I have to step back from all this rushing around, like wanting to get a big gig or wanting to get like a big kind of shoot with someone, which is good. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a good way to like,
it helps.
If you're making, it helps you and you learn. But at the same time, it's like, I think a lot of us are getting the enjoyment of it. It's all about posting. It's all about getting a gig. It's all about getting a mention by some big lad or whatever, or like that kind of shit. And when you have to think about it, it's like you start in the first place because it's fun. And like then you start to realize, oh, this could be a career. Before all that, it was fun, and it's like you learn a lot about loads of different things, and it's like it's a way to express kind of thing. And I hate saying that because it sounds so like cliche and all this kind of stuff. I
firmly believe that I think it's a form of creative release, and I think people that find, like, I find such what would you say, like, such, not peace, because I'm not fucking Buddha,
like
but
therapeutic kind of shit.
Therapeutic,
like,
I would, like, if I have a little edit in my mind and I'm looking at clips that I've taken, I could sit down on my laptop for say 6 hours. It might take me an hour, but I will take my time and just enjoy that process. But as you were saying there, it's very easy to get caught up in that, and like I'm nowhere at the point where I'm like wanting to make massive money, or I'm making massive money from video. I'm kind of dealing over with it and I'm enjoying it. But there was a point where, as you said there, I was like thinking, I was like, shit, like I I need to get a gig, I need to get money, I need to do a big thing. And I literally remember being like, I'm not doing this for enjoyment now, I'm doing this for money, and I'm literally just working for the man as such. So that I literally was like, I went out and I was like, I'm just going to take photos of whatever I like, and I literally took some of my favourite photos. But I just went into a woods, I just literally like blanked everything out. Oh my god, the woods, I love nature.
There's so much to do with that, man.
It's just shit, and like I never it's like I made a photo and I like did like a 3-tier thing, which again I saw another guy on Instagram doing. His name is like Q Mas or something. I think he's from Pakistan, but it's a bit random. But he popped up my feed. But I really like his style. It's really like minimalistic, and I like texted him about it. I was like, your stuff is sick. It's like I've taken a lot of work from that. But even that, I like to let people know, because I'm like, I don't want him to then come across my stuff and be like, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, I want to like let him know that I'm like, your stuff is sick. Keep doing what you're doing.
That's a modest thing to do. It's like, it's a very kind of like, it's humbling, because it's like, just be honest. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've taken styles. Like, I like your man. Do you know what's his name? Nabil. Do you know Gymshark? He's like, if you look at my work, you're gonna just say that's Nabil. Like, that's I've taken so much shit from him, and then as well. Even now, you know Chris Howe. His new shit, like, is more kind of like that video in Toronto.
Was he the guy who did the one when he kicked the door?
Man, like, I was sitting there,
is
like,
that him?
Fuck, that's the one, man. And that's like, if you look at that style, it's like completely more style. Like, that's everything, all this fast shit, weird sound. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, people try to do this thing where like, oh no, I've made my own style. And it's like, no, you haven't. Like, no one has. Like, you have your own vision and you have your own way about doing it. But like, styles are picked up. And like, look, in 5 years time, maybe I could develop a style differently because of all the work. But overall, like, the inspirations come from Nabil, Chris Howe, and even, you know, like Peter McCain and that kind of stuff like that, where it's like all the basic stuff, but then you have like Nabil. I think Nabil is just fucking nuts. Like, his shit is like
facts. His work with Alfie is, he was one of the people that I remember talking to you about him. One of the first things we just got talking about him. He's got an amazing. I love his edits where he puts so much emphasis onto the person and the emotion. He tells the story so well,
and all that like breathing shit and the fucking like that's what I like. That's, if you look at my videos, like all that breathing shit, I'm like, that's literally taken from that. Do you know what I mean? And then boom, and it's like.
And I've seen that, but again, that's probably, I've taken a bit of that from you, like, and I've tried to put it into my own videos. I like that sort of, but it's like a mixture. That was actually a question I wanted to ask you, was like, what would you say your top 3, top 5 like influences? Is that the one? Yes.
Yeah, that's actually
like even across everything, across like creation, video, music, art, whatever.
Fucking hell. See, there's a lot, like, it's weird now, because like I used to watch YouTube a lot. Like, when I started off this whole stuff, I used to watch a lot of YouTube, and there's a lot of like I think there's people kind of a lot, like, I know it's kind of the typical, like, you kind of like, you always start with him, like, he just pops up wherever.
He's the guy.
But yeah, he's the dude, man. There's actually a guy, there's Motion Vid. I don't know if you ever heard of him. No. He's British, but man, his shit is like, it's nuts. Like, and like, he's only, I think he has like 10k followers or whatever like that. Like, he's not like, it's not like he's like, boom. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's just like, in terms of this, like, but his stuff is like, you watch it and you're like, man, this is like, fucking, like, he has a Cine camera. I think he has like a fucking, I think it's a Blackmagic, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, just the, like, if you look at his style as well, it's quite similar to mine. Like, I would pick up a lot of his stuff. It's like kind of like, I don't know, it's fast paced, but then again, it's real slow and it's real kind of like slick. And like, he does a lot of fashion stuff. And that's kind of like stuff I like. It's like fashion and kind of like people and portraits or whatever. Motion Vid's really good. Who else is there that I'm listening to now or watching now? I don't even know. I think my brain's gone to mush. Hold on, I got my Instagram. You give me some there, because I need to like. Right. I don't know what it is. I'm just so used to scrolling. I'm like, oh, this guy.
I get you. I'd say I kind of. I don't. It's a hard question. Like,
it's a really hard question to just
think to ask you. I would say Cole Bennett. I don't know. Have you ever heard of Lyrical Lemonade?
Lyrical Lemonade.
So Cole.
It sounds very.
He's a music video creator. Like, he basically does all the music videos for like all the California. I think it's California that he goes to, but he basically like scouts young artists stuff coming in like the rap scene. But he'll like
is that
great videos.
The juice box thing? Yeah. You've seen it,
Your internet connection is unstable. We could kick the bucket here, boys. Don't know.
Shit. Yeah, you froze there. Am I alright?
Yeah, I'm all good. Am I back?
How's my
Does
motion?
my camera look? Oh no, it's just the shit camera. Yeah, your motion's crisp. Mine's
Alright,
a bit.
sweet.
I've got that motion blur. My shutter speed is open. But yeah, Cole Bennett's stuff is amazing. Like he's got
Cole
such
Bennett.
a unique. I saw what turned me on to him was I saw him doing a TED talk, and it was like he kind of had a whole talk about how like so many times he faced into stuff that he was like, oh, I'm not going to continue this. Stop
Yeah.
automatically. The maximum recording time has been reached. Right, hold on. Canon problems. Let me.
Oh yeah, actually, I want to check my camera as well, just in case.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Like that. I don't even know.
Whoops.
We might need
Yeah, I
to
think
use
that
cameras, but to be
I had
honest,
to
'cause
reuse that.
yeah, I'd say
repress that,
probably
so.
mine's gone for a while. So we can
Completely
just
blank
well,
for a
it's
while.
all here. So
We just mixed. Yeah, it's grand,
facts. But yeah, there's so many people. But I think that's a good thing you said there as well. Just to go back a bit about like your style. It's like it is very hard to have it. Like I know my style is a fusion of so many people that I see in my feed all the time, or people that I look up to. Like especially in my videos lately, I've been trying to take a lot of inspiration from these people like Cole Bennett and stuff and try to use their styles across, and it's like people are out there producing work, and it would be stupid not to take inspiration from that, and like you see people doing that and incorporating it, and I think through time and through constant practice and work you will eventually formulate your own style. And it's like
100%.
your own style is a fusion of other styles. It's like everything like you learn from what's around you constantly, where like humans are so like I'm open-minded, I know for sure, like I'll jump at anything that comes my way. It's like you want to learn. Like I'm definitely not the most open-minded person in the world. Like I like my house, so I don't want to be outside like living in a tent somewhere either, but it's like it's all about balance. But like I think it would be silly not to take advantage of what people are putting out there, and it's like you can like I could say a video from, as we were talking about in the bill, and I could be like, oh, that's deadly, but I could copy it, but it's not going to look the same. It's like copying it is different to like taking on elements of that style. Like as you were saying, like you see a lot of the bill in your videos, but I know it's not the bill because otherwise it would look different. It's like then that's what I would say is your style. But like I would know your videos immediately when they pop up on my feed. Same as that guy that I was talking to you about is Tom Noski. The minute I see his picture, I'm like, that's him. It's like boom. You know that style is so unique, and I think that just comes from time, and you just find it one day, I'd say. And it's just
that's what I'm saying as well. Yeah, like it's not something you should ever. Like I don't know whoever the fuck is watching this, whatever fuck. Like if you're starting out in this kind of with Instagram and with like photography, it's like there's like I was always conscious of that when I started. I was like, what if I don't have a style? What if like everything is like looking different every time? Like, what if this picture is looking different or whatever? And then you kind of like I started to realize and just kind of be like, shut the fuck up in my head a bit. But overall, it's like it's not about Instagram feed. It's about your work, and it's about your like me. My main thing would be portraits. Like that's like kind of what I started on. That's what I love doing, because it's like I don't know. There's so many things you can do with people. And like when I take photos on whatever, like I look at them, I'm like, oh yeah, that's sick, like that, whatever, fuck that. But beforehand, I would have been like, okay, let me make sure this grading is the exact same as what I want to have on the whole feed. And it's like, it's kind of like, look, I get it, it makes sense. You want to have a consistency, you want to have people being like, oh, that's his work. But like over time, you're kind of like, it kind of just does it itself. And like you, like it's all about what you like portray and what you take. Like I take photos of people, and like people could see 3 different things in that picture. Do you know what I mean? That's like, it's all about just that. Like that's the picture. The grading's great. It's class. I love doing it. But it's like that's not what the photo is. The photo is the photo. It's gonna be a story of yours or whatever the fuck that you've just done. And that's what I think we're all getting caught up in, is this like, how well is your footage graded? How well is your footage this? Which is, I think it's a very like important thing.
It's an important component, but at the same
but it's
time
not, doesn't make it. Do you know what I mean?
You can't,
like, it changes
reshoot it.
Yeah, you can't reshoot it. You can't change it. It's like the image is. That's why I love film. Like I love shooting film, because it's like you learn a lot as well, because a lot of people now for photography alone, right? Like, do you know the eyepiece that you look into that people used to do? Like I'm say you do. Like people literally look at the screen now. Like there's no.
That's true.
There's no kind of learning. Like, because when I used to start out, I used to only use the eyepiece, and I'd literally be like, the amount of times you'd be like, oh shit, I should have taken differently or whatever. Like you learn.
Do you
so
use
much
that
from
as much now? Do you think?
Like I try use that so much, because I
it
like
frames
I know
a shot much better. I've learned that. I was doing a lot of street photography when I was in, I think it was Amsterdam, and I was using my live view a lot, and I went back through some of the photos and I'm like, why did I take it that way? And I'm like, because I was looking at my screen this way, I see a different shot to if I'm looking square on.
And literally like that, yeah. And it's harder because it's like when you start with film as well, like you can't see anything. Like all you can see is the image, and it's like that could be completely exposed.
And that's a bit
under
therapeutic.
or over. Yeah, and it's like you kind of just be like, right, and that's why like I used to kind of go out as well. But like I think your man Peter said this. He's like, oh yeah, like go out with like an SD card, and it's like 16 gigabytes, so you can't just spam. And that's people doing it. There's like this, like spamming it, and you're like, that's just going like, look, here's an image. I got one out of like 600.
Yeah.
Which works for like fashion.
You need that like, sometimes. There's a time and place for that.
There's a time and place for everything.
If I didn't have that, like when I'm shooting street, oftentimes if I see a bike moving, I'll follow that.
You
and
have
I take
it.
like 10 shots. But at the same time, if you're framing something in nature, you're like, it's like what? It's not moving.
You're just running a gun. You're not actually doing. You're not actually doing the whole thing. And like. Yeah, and like that's what I'm saying. That's just me being a bit naive, like thinking that's the way to do photography. But like overall, it's like.
But that's your own preference as well.
Yeah, it's your own preference. You know what I mean? And like it's to me, it's like if you can look in the eyepiece, which like I haven't seen anyone do in so long. Like it's like that's when, you know, I don't know. You kind of I feel like you get really immersed in it, and you're like, okay, I have no idea. Like I have an idea what's gonna look like, but I don't at the same time. So that's like the fun part of it. Like you can be like,
it's a surprise.
I know how to expose this now. Yeah, and you have to be like. You have to know how to expose it, you have to know where to frame it and stuff like that. Like you can't just hold it and then kind of be like moving it. Like when you're looking in it, you have to like see it as you think it's going to come out. Same with film. Film, you can't see anything.
Hold that thought, because I need to piss and I'm on like a level 10.
Ooh. I actually, probably going to use this for something, aren't you? That's right.
Are we back? Man, when people look at this and play it back, they're going to be like, he was about to piss himself. And anyone that knows me personally knows that I have the worst bladder, and this stuff kills me.
Yeah, man, I've probably the worst. I think I'd be running that game as well. My bladder, like I haven't broke the seal today yet because I've only just pretty much woken up like what, like half 12 or something.
I've been up since about 9 because I had a lecture, but coffee, see, I drink too much coffee, but I remember when I was in UCD last year doing this 1 year course. I've talked about it on my podcast before, and this is not anything to do with the course, but I used to, like, I drank an Americano one day before going into a lecture, and 10 minutes in I knew what I had done. But 15 minutes later, I knew how fucked I was. And I mean, like, I was in the inside row, and there was a whole stack of people, and they all had their laptops and bags, and I was like, I'm going to have to ask them to move. And I mean, I held off, and I got to 5 minutes left in the lecture, and I was like, I can't do it anymore. I had to ask them all to move. With 5 minutes to go, I was like, oh my God.
No, it's one of the worst things ever, because when I have to pee, right? Because I'd be driving home, I think it was like, happened so many times. I used to work in Swords. In One for All, like for like the summer, and like obviously fucking it'd be like 9 to 5, so you'd be drinking like all day, water, coffee, all this kind of stuff.
Drinking all day, a few naggins, like
driving out. But literally, right, so like it'd be I finished at I say at 5:30, right, and then obviously I live in fucking Leaslip, so that's like a good bit down the road. You know what I mean? It's not close. It's like what, like a 40-minute drive, lucky, and like. When I have to pee, like I don't know what it is, especially in a car with traffic. There's always traffic. I have to like put my hood up, and like I can't have people look at me or something because I'm like so like stop. I have to pee. Like I hate it. It's like I literally feel like so anxious and so like and then literally the minute I'm done, I'm a different person. I'm like, oh thank fucking God. But like
it's a relax. You go like I guarantee I'll see it when I watch this back. Like I could feel it coming on, and then I was like, oh no, I need to go now, and I'm like watching, and I'm like swacking, and I'm like scratching. I get so.
Oh, it's horrible. Like it is horrible. Like
it is,
and it happens in the worst times ever. Like you know, like like fucking lectures and shit like that. I think lectures the worst, or like. I think one I had an interview and it's an interview, so I was just like, can this fucking end, please? That's
the worst.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
See,
this is why I wanted to have my own podcast. So if I need to piss in the middle of my podcast, no one's stopping me. It is what it is.
You can just put it and boom.
Yeah, exactly. I can.
But if we ever do a live podcast, they'd be like, fuck.
Yeah,
but we'll have to pee every time.
You know what? I saw Joe Rogan once. He was doing a live podcast and he got up and did it. So to be honest, whatever, it is what it is. I'm gonna leave it in. I'm gonna leave it in for the authenticity of it. What?
Oh, actually, well, hold on. I have water over there.
Yeah, fire away.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to pee.
Yeah, that's it. I've been ripping water and coffee, but normally I'd fire through one coffee, but I'm taking it
It's
easy.
a weird mix.
Yeah, it is, but
I'm already done mine. That's what I always do. I always like
fire
like
it down.
even when we were doing this. Yeah, like I was just chilling outside to get some air, and then I came in and I was like, I'm already halfway done, and then we were setting it up, and then we started.
I was the
I was
same.
like, shit, I have nothing to sip, and I feel like kind of like, what do I say next?
I'm like fasted because I've been I haven't eaten anything proper, so I'm like caffeine hits me, and then I'm like,
oh no, yeah, it's great. Like it's
I
like the
love
first
coffee.
you wake up, you have coffee, boom, and then you have another one after that, and then you're like another hour, like okay, now I need to eat, and then you get this real sick, hungry shit. Where you're like, I'm gonna die.
And you're like sweaty and clammy, and
Oh.
coffee is great and coffee is bad, but that's why I named this Coffee Talk, because I was at my pinnacle of drinking coffee, and it's like it's a decent name. I couldn't think of anything else. I didn't want to
Coffee Talk,
brainstorm, so there
You're
we
looking
go.
your whole rebrand on one day. Who knows?
That's
Call
it,
like
exactly. Water
espresso, like centric. I don't even know. I can't even know.
Centric espresso something. Yeah,
there you go.
but I cut you off
Signed.
there. You were talking about film and using an eyepiece, and I think that's actually
Eyepiece. Yeah.
that's a good thing.
It's a good way
because
to just learn, I think, and
Yeah.
I feel like
learn
Look,
photography
I'm
as
getting
an art.
yeah, because I'm getting more into like filming and writing and stuff like that as opposed to photography.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's no right or wrong way to do it, especially now with all this new stuff, and everyone always says like, oh, you have to get with the times and do this and that kind of stuff like that. And to me, it's kind of like I don't know. It's like I don't want to like. I want to try learn it. I want basically. I've been in so many gigs at the start where you really had to think on your toes. Like you were literally like you were. I was like 17 when I started, and I had these jobs in like nightclubs, and I had these jobs with random people, and like I was obviously only learning. I was only like new to it, and like so many positions I was in, I was like, oh my god, I need to learn that. I need to know exactly what that is. So next time, blah blah. And that happens like a lot of gigs. You're gonna come up to, and there's gonna be like shit light source, and you have nothing, and you're like, okay, what the fuck can I actually do here? Like you have to just find the source of like you have to just. And the hardest thing to do with all this is like stay calm, because you're the director, you're the one in charge. The models and the people that are waiting for you are waiting on you to direct. And like if you show that you're stressed, and I've done it before, like it just falls to pieces. You have to just,
they're like it's that
everyone
thing.
is.
Everyone's riding on you because you're the one person in control. I'm touch wood. I haven't had anything where I've been too screwed. Luckily, most of the shoots that I've done have been in decent lighting. Now, the most recent video I did was outside, and it was in the morning, and we were kind of playing with nature, and there's no wind in there.
Yeah, no, outside is just like
it's a no go, and I mean I got the harshest light, like 12 p.m, like noon, high sun, bad shadows.
And you're using Canon what?
Canon 250
250, man.
So,
no dynamic range at all, so it's fucking.
It wasn't great. I like
not fun.
Worked, and I didn't even have my ND filter at the time, so it was like my shutter speed was
you
up
said
to
it
the
came
top.
the next day.
Yeah, exactly. It is what it is. No
It
big
is what it
deal.
is, but
thank you,
fuck it.
Amazon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's working around your situation and adapting, because I think that's something that will always stand to you, whether it means you go out to take photos and you're like you don't have anything in mind, but it's like you might get the best weather conditions, but it's to take advantage of that. Like I think
you have to just literally.
I had a thought there, but I've lost it now. It was to do with photography and using the eyepiece. And you were talking about short films. That was it. I wanted to ask you. Obviously, without like, if you do have something in the works, without spilling the beans. But do you have any kind of things coming up or any projects?
Yeah. So basically, like, it's a weird time right now because, like, obviously this whole lockdown thing, like, it just. Like, it's just a weird. I don't know what's going on.
It is a weird. It's like an ominous feeling across the country. I feel like it's like.
But it's like.
It's weird.
Yeah, we're not in lockdown, but we're in lockdown.
Yeah, and it's like suppressive. It's almost like don't go outside, but if you want to go, but don't do it. It's just it's just a weird thing. But anyway, like I think because I met this guy called Galvo, and we were doing music videos together. Yeah.
And he's into acting as well, and he's also like just really big into like film and everything like that, and like he's really guided me with a lot of things, and he was kind of talking to me, and he was like, because this is at the time where I was working on, so I just didn't give myself a break, that kind of thing, and I was like going flat out, and I was doing work for everyone else, do you know what I mean, in this field, and I never was like, I should do my own shit, or like whatever the fuck, and I started getting caught up in like working for other people and working for their goals, and then their goals became my goals, so like I was just like invested in everyone that was around me, as opposed to just investing in what I wanted. And he was trying to talk to me, he was like, man, like you should, think about writing your own stuff or doing your own thing. And I was like, yeah. And then I kind of slowly was like, oh, maybe I probably should do that. And that's why I kind of had this weird kind of stage where I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I took like a break from everything. So like a whole week, I just like, I'm just gonna take a break because my brain's fucked. And then I kind of came out of it, and I was like, yeah, I wanna start writing short films, and I wanna write something. And like right now, it's like I don't have anything specific that I'm doing. Like writing's a weird thing, and for anyone, like I've only just started it, and it's so weird. It feels so unnatural. Like you're sitting there and you're writing, and it's like, look, it sounds grand. Like, you know, you watch films and you say, I love the story. This I know why he wrote this. But like when you're writing it, you're like, you have to just get into the flow. It's not about writing a story. It's about a flow, and literally it just comes. And like there was one day where I was pissed off about everything. I was so angry, and I just got my keyboard and started writing. And I think I wrote like for 40 minutes straight without stopping, just full on. And I was like, holy shit, that was weird. And that's what you have to get into. You have to get into this flow. So for me now, it's just kind of like I'm just like learning how to do that and how to get into that flow essentially. And from there, like I think like my plan is to do 3 short films next year. Like that's like kind of like a goal. And your man Galva's going to be like a producer. Like he's going to be like pushing me to do it. So if I be like, no, he's going to be like, no, you have to do it. You said you done it. That kind of thing. Which is, I like the way I have that.
That's great.
But I think one of them is going to be post World War One kind of thing in Ireland. So it's going to be a lot of like research. I actually have these books here that I'm reading. Fucking
this man.
Yeah. You know, you got to do the research. So
that's it. That's sick, though. That's deadly.
But yeah, like it's gonna be, and that's what I'm saying. Like the more uncomfortable I feel, I think the better you grow. Like I have no fucking notion of writing. Like as I used to.
Zones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to do it. And like I used to write like stories when I was younger, like just for no reason. And then it's really hard to now sit down and write stories because the problem with a lot of people, and this is what he was saying, and I noticed, is that like when you're writing and you're also a DP, like a cinematographer. You're always thinking about 6 different hats to wear. Like you're thinking, right, okay, I'm writing this. Let me think about how I'm going to film this. Let me think about Whereas when you're writing,
what's the shot
you have to
look
just
like.
Exactly. You have to
one
take off
thing
the hat
at a
and be
time.
like,
Focus.
Yeah, you're a writer. That's what you have to say to yourself. I'm a writer, and write. And like it's kind of hard to do that because I'm writing, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna look so cool. I'm like, no, shut up. You have to just fucking get lost in the world, and that's where like a good short film will show from a different short film. Like if you don't write the world and you write everything about every detail, like the characters, what they want, who they are, why they're here, and if you're just throwing characters in for no reason, it's gonna be shit film, like, and you're gonna notice that.
Story always wins.
Story always wins, but and you can have a shit.
Peter Rickin literally made a video on that like 2 weeks ago, I think, but it's so true. I don't know, when you're do you script your videos when you're going to shoot for a client or whatever?
I've started to do it more. 100%, like more I've done it.
That freaks me out that you don't do that. Like that's crazy.
That's
crazy.
Like,
I'd say I have 4 journals that are just full back to back.
Really?
Just and it might be just one. Some of them are to-do lists, some of them are just thoughts, some of them are plans. But I mean, I have books upon books of just shit. And I might never go back to them. And my voice memos in my phone, it's gonna fucking fill up one of these days. I have so much stuff that
all the shit,
But I think that's the best thing. Like I've said it so many times on this. I mean, write everything out. Like you could be walking down the road and have a thought, and just record it in your voice memo, because if you don't, you'll never remember, and that could be a money thought. I've had so many thoughts that if I hadn't recorded, I know they wouldn't have materialized into things. But it's like, I'll sit down and I'll be like, because it's just the type of person I am, I want to be prepared. So if I'm doing a shoot for someone, if I'm doing a shoot for myself, I'll sit down and I'll just, for me, this is another thing I was going to ask you, is like, what do you find helps you get into those creative flows? Like, I think a creative flow is one of the most underrated, under talked about things, because I think when you get into that creative flow, your work flow,
you're unstoppable, man.
It's a different level, and it's like you get it. There's nothing else going around. It's like you've got serious noise cancelling headphones on and your screen or whatever it is, whether you're writing or anything. But for me, I would like sit in my room. I might turn on music that I think is matching the mood. So if it's something in nature, I might put something slow on. If it's a fast-paced thing, I'll put something more aggressive on. And it's like I pace around my room, and I like act out the shot. Like I was doing one yesterday. I mean, like I was talking about, say, just for example, like water dripping off the edge of a pipe or something, and I was like literally like talking into my phone, being like, and it just and then drips down, and it's like
it's weird,
and it's like I've got like a 10-minute voice memo there that I've recorded, and then I go and transfer that onto paper or type it up. But that like to me that's something that really helps me creative.
No, that's nuts because I like you saying that is like, oh fuck, like I just never do that ever, and like that's that's what I'm lacking. I should, and that's why with the whole writing thing, like you're on the ball point for that. Do you know what I mean? And if you're on write it, you know like kind of the flow. Like this, for me, like every video that I've done on my page, like I think like the most I ever planned was the documentary that I did, but that was still not planned. I mean, that was just like
that's insane. But that shows that how good of a creative you are, that you can do that without planning.
It's just crazy. Weird because it's like it's weird how like it works because like I don't know what it is. Like sometimes like I'm just so unorganized as a person. Like I'm just never been organized. I just don't have organization. Like I don't like I wake up late and I just fucking do shit, or like I wake up mad early and do shit. Like it's just like there's no like consistency, middle ground, which is it's just what I'm like. Do you know what I mean?
But that suits you. Like
that suits me. That suits whatever fuck. Yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like there are some people that just are like, how the fuck do you do that? Or like, oh yeah, I do that all the time. It's like it's just whatever the fuck flows for you. Do you know what I mean? But like for all these things I've done, I don't know what it is. I think like I should write down, and I need to, and that's what I'm gonna start doing because I did one recently in the gym. Yeah, like literally just do it and then boom. But like beforehand, it would have been just like because I used to work barbers, gyms, and fucking nightclubs, and like just kind of like what else did I was doing? Just like random shit with people. I'd always just have like I'd just be like, because obviously barbers are doing their shit. Do you know what I mean? There's not much control. Like you can ask them to do stuff, but at the same time it's like boom. So I just always kind of wander around just like thinking in my head, and like it's weird like what you were saying there. Like I would like. I'm so used to hearing like the whooshes, the thumps in my head. So I literally go, okay, it's gonna go bump, bump, thump, and then boom. And every time I hear a song now, I don't even listen to it. I'm just like waiting, like, oh, and then this person walks out here and does this, and then boom. It's weird. Like it literally consumes your life. Like all I think about is just editing and like doing this and doing that. But that's what I'm saying with the shoots that I used to do. I would have just gone in and then like, I obviously got more comfortable. So like I never felt like, because I feel like when I started like. Going up to people's faces with a camera like would have been like the most terrifying thing for me, but you just kind of learn it, and like now like I just go into a barber and whatever fuck and just literally go up, boom. They know that if you don't care, they don't care. That's what you have to know. Like the more you're comfortable, the more they're gonna be comfortable.
That's so
and it's just kind of like it's just all in my head. Like I don't have anything written down, whereas I think the difference when I wrote down, like I didn't even write down, I just kind of had like some kind of plan for this other shoot. And it was 2 hours, and I just remember being like, holy shit, like that was so much, it was like easier, and it was like everything felt like more secure, because sometimes I come home from shoots and I'd be like, fuck, I don't know if I have enough clips, and you're sitting there like shit, and like after being paid and after being this, you're like, oh shit. That's the worst. And like you're panicking, but like literally like you can always find a way personally, but like overall it's like when you plan it, especially what you're doing, because you're doing fucking miles, way more stuff, which is the best thing. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like I'm like shit, I should probably start doing that. But like when you write stuff down and you just have when you have one idea like just on paper and you go with that piece of paper, or you have that idea, the difference in like just your confidence with it.
And it's like, what have you got to lose? The way I look on it is like when you're in, as you said, like I've done one video, one work with barbershop, and it's like as you say, you can't control what they're doing, so it's more about working around it. But like I'll know I have key shots. I'm like, okay, I want to get a shot underneath the scissors, or I want to get a close-up shot of a razor, and it's like I know I can see it in my head, I just don't know how I'm going to bring it. So then I like to think of it, it's like 50% planning, 50% execution. So
that's what I'm saying. And
that
like,
other is like whatever happens on the day happens. You can't, there's too many unknowns. You can't, that's and as you said earlier, it's like you have to adapt your situation.
Yeah, because I think one of my mates told me something and it just stuck with me forever, and it was something tiny, and Sam's his name. He was telling me, he was like look, like just have, like, do you not have a structure? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, do you not have like a just like
a 1, 2, 3
or whatever? So 1, 2, 3, basically it's beginning, middle, and end. And I was like, all right, yeah, grand, I'll take it on board. And like what he meant was, and like I have never had such good advice ever. And like it was like basically like if I go to a boxing club, and I'm filming a boxer. So what I always say is, I'm like, right, okay, let me show the audience where I'm at. So boom, establishing shot, the boxing thing, that's done, get that, fine. Then boom, think about it, like, think about what they do, like, analyze it, being like, right, do they skip first, or do they put their wraps in their hands? So if you notice that, get the wrap first, then get a shot of them skipping, then, like, and that's how it goes. And like, I used to edit where I just film everything and just not have any structure and just be all over the place. But like, so even with barbers, like I go in, let me show where they're at. They're at a barbershop. Let me show what they do beforehand. They pick up tools. You know, they have these wide shots and like, and same with gyms. Like, do you know what I mean? Have them train, like run and start, stretching, boom, show it to gym, and like those, like it sounds so stupid to be like, oh, that's obvious though, but like when you're actually in those situations, like a coffee shop as well, get the outdoor thing, then kind of come in and be like them setting up a coffee, not them already pouring a coffee and giving, like you want to show the process, so that way, like I've noticed with like even the stuff I do with like Kiefer and stuff like that, I've always have the like initial stuff, so like he's stretching, he's walking with the gloves, he's putting the gloves on, he's doing this, and then it's like, it seems so like, oh well, that's obvious, like we know that, but like if you don't do that, then the audience, whoever's watching, so I mean, like
it's confusing. You started off on a bad note, and that's funny that you say that. Every single video that I've done on my Instagram, at least that I can think of, I've done that subconsciously. Only there like 2 months ago probably that I started thinking about the actual like terminology, like an establishing shot and all this stuff. But I didn't even know I was doing it. But it's like I can't tell this story if I don't know where I'm at. So if I look at this video and I don't know what it is, I need a way to tell them. It's like I did a video with one of my mates, Oisin. I did a Gaelic video with them, and it's like with that, as you said, it's like I started off simple as him tying his boots, putting on his glove, bouncing the football. It's like, and then you're like, okay, he's putting on football boots. Oh, he's tying a glove, so that means it's Gaelic, not soccer. And then it's like, and the ball has Garo on it, and it's like, and there you go. And without even knowing, it's like you're telling that story, and people know, and then people know what to expect. It's not like you walk into a coffee shop and you film water steaming out. You're like, you know. You
don't know, and it's weird. Like it's weird how effective it is, because like, and you only know, like that's the annoying thing about all this stuff. Like it's like the amount of work that is put into these videos that are like 30 seconds long, and it's ridiculous. Like, and like, it's weird how like the less you notice, the better the thing. Which is like let's say if you put out a video with terrible sound and terrible layout, they're gonna notice it. Whereas if it's great, people are like, oh, it's class, but like they don't understand like how much time
effort
or whatever,
time.
and it's like whatever. But obviously, artists.
The most satisfying thing is looking at a timeline when it's done and seeing all the clips and all the audios, and it's like, render.
It's a weird feeling, isn't it? Because like you're finished it, and it's like yes, but you're also like,
what do I do now?
Well, I can never use that song again. I can never use those clips again unless I'm doing a show reel. It's like, it's a weird kind of like I think someone was saying this on a video. He was like saying it's like it's a sad, happy thing. Like
it's a sad now. Goodbye, but a happy progression. It's like you're like, you don't want to finish it because you've almost got like a bond with those clips. That's a weird thing to say, but that's how I feel about it. When I'm doing editing, I'm like, I know like there's a shot that I love, everything
about this,
and I'm like, I loved how I filmed it or whatever. But there's someone that said that, and it's like, if you don't let go of your past achievements, you can't possibly move forward, because you like. I'm trying so hard to get like that. Like I produce something and it's great. I'm happy with it. And I put it here, and I'm trying to get better at like self-recognition, like not being like an egotistical maniac. Be like, I'm amazing, but at the same time looking at something and being like, I like that shot, but not, and like enjoying it, because that's it exactly. If you're pleasing yourself, well, then that's all it really boils down to.
That's what it is.
Prioritize yourself. You know?
Let me just actually hold on. I need to check this fucking camera.
I swear, man. Right, I think mine's on 29. Mine's gonna finish up in a minute. We'll go for like another 5 minutes and then we'll wrap it up. And I think we'll have to do a number 2.
Definitely.
Like the podcast, if you want to see another 2. This is, I'd say we've been going for how long? I don't know.
How long have we been going?
We've been going for a while. It must be. It must be the guts of an hour. That's the longest we've ever done. Let's go.
It's weird. We should just edit it. We just edit it all and make it sound like retards. You ever see Lil Board?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh man.
Does he do all the cuts and?
Yeah, man. Like literally, he's down my alley. Like that's the shit I love. So like, he just does all this weird freaking hand shit. Like he always gets podcasts of like, it's mainly like KSI kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like every kind of movement is like real exaggerated. Like when he's hitting it, like it zooms in and it has that motion blur kind of thing. And like they have all these weird sound effects, like when they crack their neck and shit. Oh, it's so like.
Look, and the amount of time there's another guy. He's called Much Dank, and he does all these videos.
Oh, Much Dank, yeah.
He does the same sort of style. Yeah, my camera just kicked it. We're back. My camera battery's gone to the dog as well. Yesterday I took it out and it was on foot. Oh, that's why. The battery definitely died quicker in the cold, do they?
Oh,
I think they do. I didn't think about it, but I went down to Glendalough yesterday, full battery, and it went to like flashing red within, I'd say, 40 minutes. first time that's ever happened to me, and it was
Really?
cold though. Yeah, it was proper cold, and I think that the cold absolutely fried it. I never thought about that until now, literally, and that's probably that I'm not going to fact check.
Maybe it's
that,
just the battery, or maybe it's just...
it could be. I'm going to say it could be, but we don't know. But we've been going for an hour, so we might wrap it up. I don't really want to, but I think there's no harm. We call it here, and then we can keep some of the jewels for the next one.
Exactly.
So we'll have to
and like
do
we can cut this up either as well. We can do other shit.
I'm gonna leave it for the hour because I'm just like, this is for the authenticity of it, and it's like if anyone is willing to listen through this for the full hour, go you. You can scrub through. I'll put all the little timeline bits down in the bottom where you can click on the parts in here. There'll be a section where we're literally
That's actually
talking
a
about
class idea. I did not think about that.
I had to do it on my other 30-minute ones, and they were 30 minutes, so never mind the hour. But I don't know. I think we've talked about a good few things. Like I've definitely learned a lot. Like I think that's another thing. Like you always hear Joe Rogan talk about how he has guests on, and obviously he's a big inspiration for me in that sense. But it's like, I want to hear what you have to say and take that on board. I don't want you to be on and you telling me and then I telling you what I think. I want to learn from what you're saying, because that's the joys of it. Like
that's why like even you're writing down shit, I'm like, holy shit, I need to start doing that.
Absolutely. Get voice memos. Voice memos are where it's at.
I heard they're fucking lit.
Like everything that we've said is recorded in this hour, and you can scrub through, and that's it, and it's there. But why I'm so firm with writing stuff down is like, what difference does it make? You know, I write it down, nothing bad happens from that. I might come back to that in 3 years. But it's cemented in your mind. Writing stuff down is one of the biggest things. Like I write a list every day, and if I don't write a list, I get proper.
It's therapeutic, like it's good for you, like it brings out, you know.
Off is like
yeah,
it's beautiful.
Money.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Well, happy days, man. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me, brother.
No problem. We'll be back soon, I'm sure. Hopefully this will be the restart of Coffee Talk. It probably won't be every Thursday though, because that was a bit unrealistic. Went through a point of doing it.
Every day we can do it. Every time we can do it. When we feel like it. 6 months later, episode 2.
Facts. Right. Well, I'm gonna call it here. Thanks, sir.
Right. Cheers, brother.
Right.
Enjoy. Hope you enjoyed that.